Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you all could probably imagine that this video has been a long time coming. Though if we're going to be honest, it's only going to be about 7 days, because 7 days ago is when we released a video regarding the insane amount of toxic positivity surrounding Zenless Zone Zero version 2.5. And one of the topics of this video over here was the fact that me simply presenting some of the most reasonable critiques, and of course, reasonable amount of skepticism for a game update from developers who have continually betrayed their player base, Zenless Zone Zero, me expressing the smallest amount of skepticism for features in the game that I thought sounded either predatory or not very good, that was met with one of the most diabolical dislike ratios on the planet. And then afterwards, after making this video, people realize, oh, this is something Sane has done before. Prediction. An incoming I was right again video 5 months later. By that time, he will reference this vid. Hi everyone from the future. Well, this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It turns out Zenless Zone Zero 2.5 is so fucking bad that on release, I'm able to make this vid. We don't have to wait 5 months. We only have to wait until the day the patch goes live. Because do you want to know what I saw when I opened up Twitter this morning? I don't even follow this account. I don't have ZZZ stuff on my page. But this is what I saw. Possibly the worst finale quest in all of gacha games and the worst Hoyo cast of all time. Holy fuck. And what do you see in the background? Zenless Zone Zero's redemption rewards for completing a main story quest, and this woman who looks like she's on her 13th reason. Why? And you might be thinking, maybe this is just somebody doom posting the game, right? Maybe they're not actually a Zenless Zone Zero player. Let me show you the name of this profile. Kafka, with a Columbina profile picture. I assume this person is a Hoyoverse fan, so we can kind of rule out the idea that this is Wuthering Waves players doom posting for no reason. And as you can see over here, right, almost 300k views. It was made literally less than 12 hours ago and 6.4k likes across the ZZZ community. Do you want to know what I said about this story? I said that this story had a lot of potential to fail. Actually, I said that right during, when I was reacting to the trailer. And one of the big things that I said was the fact that they spent so much time focusing on this Yi Shungite unit, sacrificed the storytelling of everybody else in Waifei Peninsula to focus on her, and then they didn't even do a good job with it. Do you want to know one of the reasons for why it was bad and wasn't received well? Obviously, because they didn't dedicate the right time to the right characters and the writing in the story is awful, but also the fact that ZZZ 2.4, right? If you're familiar with ZZZ 2.4, you would know that this quest actually did not have voice lines in it. Yeah, a good 60% of the quest just didn't have voice lines, and then the developers apologized for it. So that's part of the reason for why the quest was so awfully received, especially in global. And who could have guessed, when I said the version was dead on arrival, who could have guessed that it would have impacts on how enjoyable 2.5 is? Though I'm pretty sure the story writing is just awful as well, because, as we're all familiar, ladies and gentlemen, the ZZZ developers have literally gotten on their hands and knees in front of the player base, only on Bilibili, and literally released an apology video for how bad the story in Waifei Peninsula has been across the entire 2.x version. Yeah, that's something that happened. And so, one of the big reasons for why I got mass brigaded on this video was the fact that I dared be critical about a story that even the devs are critical about. That's gonna be instance number 1, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like I was just right again. It turns out that blowing up your fucking story, and then never making the decision as a billion-dollar company to actually fix it, it can have some consequences on how good the story is later on. So I guess we're proven right again here. The next part about this update that I find fascinating, right, is we talked about how ZZZ 2.4's lack of voiceover impacted how much people enjoyed the version. They're still missing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the patch that had no voices, where the devs literally were apologizing and giving out compensation for the fact that the voices were missing. Only 100, by the way. They're still not there. And so if you're somebody that's catching up on the game, right? This is the best part. There are so many people that quit this game because it was dog shit for 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Now they're gonna come back, and the precursor story for the Void Hunter unit, that's the focus of 2.5, they're just not there. And remember, she's the on-banner unit in 2.5. Her main story is also in 2.4. So, to play the story of the on-banner unit, you will not have their voice lines if you're catching up. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're catching up or not, because if you played it last patch, you didn't have the voice lines. And if you play it this patch, you don't have the voice lines either. Billion-dollar company, by the way. Billion-dollar company. And you want to know what makes this unforgivable? And do you want to know what I also got downvoted for repeatedly? ZZZ just had 2 spending events from 2.3 to 2.4, and then 2.5 they have another spending event. But apparently these guys with this many spending events can't put in enough budget to simply undo the errors that they did in the prior patch, to simply rectify the wrongs from the prior patch. With 2 spending events in a row, you don't have the resources to dedicate to fixing up your past mistakes. But hey guys, do you want to know something crazy? You want to know what the ZZZ developers do have money for? And this one is gonna really piss you guys off. Get ready for this one. Someone did a little bit of digging, apparently. We got John Seaman over here. And apparently people have found out via Google Ads Transparency Center, Hoyoverse has been 10xing their ads for ZZZ's release compared to other gacha companies like Woo. So this is Woowa 3.0. This is ZZZ. So it's 10x the amount. They can spend 10x the amount on advertising, maybe less, maybe more, who knows. I just see it's double the amount of ads, but they can't add in old voice lines. Guys, they can spend all their money on that, right? Marketing for the game, but actually making the game better? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And so, what did I say? Hey, let's just go through the repository again. What did I say? What did I say, guys? When I was in this video, ZZZ devs lied again. What did I say? Oh boy, oh boy. Look at this. Less money. Hey, here we go. Money than this fucking game? Do you know how much HSR makes in comparison to ZZZ? It makes so much more, and they're treating it like this. So I'm focusing on how HSR got treated with a 3.8 patch after their 3 spending events in 4 updates, and how it's the worst patch in the history of the game. And this is after their 3rd spending event they released this update. And I'm telling you, what do you think the ZZZ devs? What type of treatment do you expect for Zenless Zone Zero moving forward when they're treating HSR like this? Oh, I know the treatment. They're gonna skip fixing the game and instead spend all this money on ads. They're not gonna fix the game. They're gonna spend all the money on ads. You wanna know why? So they can direct people to this amazing spending event, so that they can use the money from this spending event and proceed to not use it to fix the game. Because shouldn't they have used the money from this fucking spending event to fix this shit? No, I guess they used the money from this spending event to design this spending event. Or they used it on this shit. Just know it's not going into the fucking game. And there's just proof of it. It's undeniable proof. They're just not putting anything at all into the fucking game. Because how is this still like this? And you want to know what is just the funny part about all of this? You'll be able to see. It's not going to be clear from the analytics right now, but it's very clear from some of the past analytics that I've shown. ZZZ has also been sponsoring massive streamers across the lead up to 2.5 to stream the game for X amount of hours. So if you were to look at this is about 6,000, 7,000 viewers that are artificially in the category from the sponsorships. That's like a solid couple $1,000s that they spent on that, maybe 10K plus on that sponsorship. And so once again, they're spending it on sponsors for Twitch streamers that don't even play ZZZ. They're spending it on ads, but none of it is actually going into fixing the game. So it's bad to sponsor. This is my take. I think that if you have massive problems in the game that still need fixing, and then you're dedicating resources to sponsors and marketing instead of fixing the problems in the game, that's bad. Because that means that instead of making a good product, you're just marketing a product and making it dog shit. Which is typically, as a consumer, that's the opposite of what you want. You don't want a product that's bad, but then falsely marketed. But that's what's going on here. Yeah, that's what's going on here. I don't think it's that, I really don't think it's that complicated, but you can pretend to be stupid because you like ZZZ. But that's just what it is, right? It's stupidity being weaponized by this player base. That's the reason why you're in this spot. But you want to know what? This is all sounding pretty dog shit, right? This is all sounding terrible. You're seeing that the devs are spending more money on marketing the game than actually fixing it, but don't worry guys, they've managed to still fuck it up even further from there. Do you want to know what else has been fucked up in this game? Apparently the character design is something that's getting fucked up in this game. This is a long-ass post just talking about how awful Yi Shungaite's design is and the fact that she pretty much ignores every mechanic in the game and is intentionally designed to be an iframe abusing character that just does their resource damage game plan. I haven't tried her out yet. I'm not going to go ahead and make a solid take on this. I'm just going to say that this is one of the top upvoted posts in the discussion subreddit, and the patch, obviously, right, just launched, so I expect that in 1 hour, 68, it's probably going to go much higher from here. We'll revisit this later once we actually play Yi Shungaite ourselves, but don't worry, this is something that might be coming up on the horizon. I can't talk too much about her mechanics. I can talk about the balancing in this update, and if you guys are all familiar with one of the patches that ruined the balancing of ZZZ, it was version 1.4 where they released Miyabi. And one of the big things about Miyabi was that at M0, 0 dupes, just 1 copy, M0 Miyabi was better than an M6 Ellen, 7 dupes. And it appears that the ZZZ devs, they haven't learned from history repeating itself, because they've decided an M6 Alice over here, right, 144k DPS, an M6 Alice is gonna deal less than less than 2x the damage, I guess. Yeah, I guess less than 2x the damage of M0 Yi Shungaite. So, I think they did it again, and it's actually worse. I think they did it again, and it's actually worse than it was with Miyabi and... Yeah, it's worse than Miyabi and Ellen. So, remember what I said before. You can clearly see she absolutely dumpsters Alice, right? One thing that I said before as well, that I'll make sure to counteract another time because, hey, we just constantly have to prove the ZZZ community wrong. I said that these rerun banners were going to be predatory. And this was one that people really got mad at me about. Players. When I said that the rerun banners for this game were going to be predatory because all these characters end up getting horrendously power crept within like 2 months. Let me just... So that's M0 Yi Shungaite, the new character that just released. This is M6 Alice. And don't worry, we got the team buff damage and the solo damage. Regardless of what it is, M0 Yi Shungaite's better. So... I don't know. Was I right again? When I said that this is predatory? Encouraging people to pull on rerun banners when they release new units that are literally 70 times better? It's predatory, right? For somebody to get baited into pulling Alice when Yi Shungaite is like 700% value in comparison, right? Just damage-wise. It's predatory if someone were to pull Alice and then not waste resources on her when they could pull the better unit that's better in every way. Right? Because that's the exact thing that I said. That's why I said it's predatory in here, because of how this game gets balanced. So I was right again, even though this was something that people said I was doom posting the game about. Can't believe Saints somehow managed to spin these goated banners into something bad. This community is mad retarded, bro. Anyways, let's move on. 11 hours ago. The new Shiyu is worrying. I would like to first say I have played this game since 1.0. I have cleared every Shiyu in Deadly Assault, so I would say I'm someone who knows what they're talking about in terms of ZZZ endgame. So we have literally day 0 players who are going ahead and say the new Shiyu has a problem. This is accompanied by literal posts on the subreddit saying, don't forget to share feedback in-game for those that are unsatisfied. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this, guys. Are y'all ready? Let's take a look at the repository one more time. Remember, this is the 75% dislike ratio. React to the live stream. Let's look at the word Shiyu. All right, let's check it out over here. Oh God. So we said 3 teams. We didn't even think about, oh no. So my entire reaction to this entire Shiyu defense update is me saying, oh fucking no. This looks horrifyingly designed. And you want to know one of the reasons that I give? That's not one of them. That's also not one of them.
Look at that shit.
I should have skipped that part.
It's like, what do I,
And you want to know something? That's how you know. That was my reaction to just the game mode. He wrote an essay. I said, He wrote an essay instead, but we're on the same wavelength. You get what I mean? Think about this game. This game, it's not as easy as just following. Listen to this. This is important here. The elemental weakness chart. Because there are some bosses that require you to use a certain element as well as a certain damage type. Yeah. Because it could turn out that this boss, right, is weak to fire, but it's not weak to fire anomaly. And so if you use your Bernice, she's actually useless here, even though it's weak to fire. So it's like there's additional layers of restrictions on top of every single boss beyond just the elemental restriction. That's how the game works. That's why, despite being ice units, Hugo and Ellen are useless, because the devs need to balance the game around not making ice too strong, because Miyabi's broken. And so, by proxy, Hugo and Ellen can only be used when a specific ice weak boss that also has attack weakness is made. So, they both need to be ice weak and then also attack weak at the same time. So you can't use them otherwise. They're just literally not playable. And that's the wonderful part about the balancing in this game. They make it so that you pull a character, and chances are, unless they're a Void Hunter, that character is like viable against 2 bosses, and those bosses show up like once every 3 resets. That's why Hugo has been playable in like 3 Shiyu since he's fucking released. I'm obviously not fully accurate on those numbers, but that's like how it's felt. And this needing 3 teams, and by the way, take a look at all of those. Do you see any Ice Weak monsters here? No, you don't. Get fucked. It's stuff like that I'm saying makes this game cancerous in its design. And to add 3 teams, make 3 teams mandatory, and then have those layered restrictions on top, it's not good. And I already knew it wasn't going to be good. And now, oh, lo and behold, it looks like the community, it just has to release first, guys. Even if every part of the design makes it obvious this is going to be dog shit, right? When it's obvious that every part of the design is going to make this experience awful, me saying up front that it's not going to be good, knowing it's not going to be good, that doesn't mean I'm doom posting. That means that I have been around this block before. I've seen what these developers do when it comes to balancing their endgame. By the way, it never is anything other than pull the newest character. I'm speaking from experience over here when I'm making these takes that this shit is fucking cooked. But hey, dislike it. But hey, be toxic positive. Hey, be referenced in one of my videos later. It's fine. Because all you need to do is take a look at this comment section, despite seeing how pretty much every single fucking thing I said in this live stream, because I verified so many things that I said in this video are true. At this point, it's 1 day into the fucking update. My reaction to the live stream was about, probably, it was like 11 days ago, and I predicted almost everything to the fucking T. But hey, let's pretend I'm doing this just to lie about the game. Hey guys, let's pretend over here, right, that I really genuinely want the game to fail. Guys, if I wanted the game to fail, you want to know what I would have to do? Nothing. I don't have to do anything. If I wanted this game to fail, I could just AFK. This is what happens when I didn't even stream the game yesterday. The patch launched yesterday. I didn't do anything. And this is the community response. What do I need to do? I'm Kwame Brown. This is Kobe Bryant with the 81 points, except he scored them all in his own fucking net. This shit is pathetic. And to see this community repeatedly, over and over again, try to insinuate that I'm the one being wrong here for calling out the dog shit the decisions the developers are making is insane. Because you want to know why? It already happened. And the funniest part is that it already happened for 2.0. Everyone recognizes this is one of the worst, if not the worst version update a game ever had. Everyone recognizes the anniversary rewards from this patch were dog shit. I got doom posted, brigaded to hell and back for having the accurate take on 2.0 being ass, because it was terrible. I had the accurate take of calling it bad. Got doom posted. And you wanna know what the funniest fucking part is? In this video, right, that got doom posted by the community again, right? In this video where everyone's saying I'm doom posting and shit. You wanna know what I told them to be aware of? I told them to be aware of the fact that I was right before.
Right, like an exploit.
I showed the previous live stream where I got brigaded and then proven to be right afterwards. I showed it at the fucking start, and they did it again. They actually fucking did it again. And now I get to farm the shit out of this absolutely brain-dead community of toxic, positive, pencil-necked dorks. And it's gonna be great. Because you want to know why? I've actually had the game open the entire fucking time. I've had the game open. I haven't even had to play it, and I've been able to make a video on ZZZ 2.5. And you want to know the only reason why I've been able to do that, ladies and gentlemen? It's because this community is so fucking dumb, it's unbelievable. All I've had to do is reference my prior videos and show the past actions, the past transgressions of the worst community in gacha. And then I just get to make another 25-minute video. It's amazing. And my favorite part about it is the fact that all I need to do is just literally replay my own fucking vids. Replay the video. I don't even need to speak. Replay my video and indicate to you how literally everything that I said was going to happen. It is fucking happening. And all this player base can do is just pretend that there's not a growing fire inside the house. Because Jesus Christ, I don't know who put the wool over your guys' eyes while everything is burning the fuck down. But y'all gotta recognize, maybe when your company's spending more on advertising and sponsors than actually fixing the game, maybe these devs are focused more on making money than actually making a good game. Oh, wait, you probably should have known that from the fact that there were 2 spending events in a row. So if you're still this retarded to not believe that ZZZ is just a cash cow at this point, there's no hope for you. It's 2 spending events, ads, thousands of dollars in Twitch sponsors, but they can't add voice lines to the game. $1 billion company. $1 billion company. Billions of dollars. But you can't add old voice lines. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.